specifically in the matters of intimate relationships. This is what is they mentioned. For example, from the Islamic point of view, according to many scholars, she is not responsible for cooking or cleaning his house or cleaning his clothes or for his babies and so on and so forth. She is required to breastfeed and to carry his babies and uprear them, and that's it. So from the Islamic point of view, the obedience is linked with this. This is the obligatory part upon the wife. The rest, it depends on the customs. So what is usually people agreeing on before entering into the marriage contract? That is what is required from them. Nowadays, for example, what is expected from a wife and from a husband is different from what was expected, let us say, 50 years back. Can you now, for example, ask your wife that she should make her own bread every day, for example? Most women are not going to do that, even if they know how to. This is very time consuming and very tiring, but this was the norm 20 years, 50 years back. So this changes from time to time. What is required is usually only in the matter that is for you in marriage. What is in for you in marriage is that each one in Islam, each one is allowed to enjoy the other in permissible ways, satisfy the other needs in permissible ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala related to this in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are remnant for you and you are remnant for them. Like they are this close to you, like a cloth, being protective and garment and enjoyment and comfortable and so on. And you are the same to them. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding us that both of them share the same responsibility of satisfying the other's needs on this regard. That is the regard of intimacy. And in the other one, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in matters of livelihood and relationship, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. And to the wives, the same that is upon them in kindness and in good living together. Good living together. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adds, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً. However, men have a degree above them. That is the responsibility and the leadership of the family. This is the concept that is required. As you see, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning here and what the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned in the hadith, when she obeys the husband, this is the best for her in the hereafter. This is one of the means of getting into paradise. So the obedience is linked with these matters that are required. Else, if he orders something that is no benefit in him from that order, she is not obliged to obey. Or if he ordered her something and there is a benefit for him, but there is harm upon herself on that one, she is not obliged to. So it is linked with this. And there is a huge dispute among scholars of what is exactly required. The guidelines is the custom, the prevailing custom in the society, and his and her status. If she was from a wealthy family, in fact, it is his responsibility to provide her with a servant, for example, and a helper, and a higher living standard. And on the other hand, if she and her peers in her family serve in the household or clean the household or clean the clothes and prepare the food, etc., then that will be part of the duties that is required from her. So it depends on particularities as well. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. No. Yes, sure. True. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. Now, the concept is that in any committee, for example, or institution whatsoever, small or big, you must have a leader of a team, in any team. Cannot make, okay, we are one team, but there is no real leader. Then what are we going to do? when there is a dispute between two in the team, who is going to solve that? Who is going to decide? The final decision is with who? So being a leader in a team or a leader in a family does not mean that you are going to be a dictator. You could be a bad leader or a good leader. Concept is you are a leader. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in this as a form. This is a responsibility as well as a degree, as mentioned. The part of the responsibility is actually much bigger. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. So he's speaking to you, men, O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from hellfire. So it's your responsibility to guide the family to what is best for them. That is the responsibility. This is the degree that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. This is not linked of who is wealthier, the husband or the wife, whether the wife is working or not, whether the wife is educated or not. This is not linked with that. This is not linked with it. This is a position given to that person. Similar to any leadership on earth. The leader of a company, the leader of a community, the leader of a team is not necessarily the brightest, not necessarily the smartest, not necessarily the wealthiest, not necessarily the strongest, and so on, right? But he has to make good decisions. And that is the guidance that the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ guided us, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided us of how to treat women equally and how to treat them kindly and be fair to them and be aware from hurting them and so on. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, we have discussed this in details before. Concept is that is the criteria of a good leadership. And the Messenger of Muhammad ﷺ gave us examples of this in his real life. With his servants, with his family members, with his wives, and how he used never to complain about anything that was done or not done at all. So the concept of leadership, not necessarily that it will be misused. It is not linked with who is working and who is not. Hopefully it's clear. Yes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. That's it, the degree of responsibility, the degree of leadership. You as the man, the husband, is appointed as the leader, the caretaker, the provider in the family. In the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the other ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الرجال قوامون على النساء بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم. Two reasons why this is given to men. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says the first one, the men are the caretakers of women because of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored one of them over the other. And because of what they spend from their money. The first one is that men and women are not created equally, like 50-50. They are equal in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the creation is not exactly the same. Men are stronger, more situated or suited to work outside in hard work to provide, to gain and provide, and to take care and to defend. That is their responsibilities. Women, on the other hand, are more to carry and nurture and caretake and give emotional support and so on. That is what they are created for naturally. Naturally. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them with these specifications. Each one is directed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to what is beneficial. The second thing, they are the guys who are responsible for providing for the family. They have to give the mahar, they have to pay for the housing, the clothing, the food, the items, the medication, etc. All the expenses must be shared by the man. From the Islamic point of view, even if the man was poor and the woman was wealthy, she is not obliged to pay anything to the family at all, except by her choice as a charity. Else she is not obligated to that. The one who is obligated is the one who is responsible for it. That is the person who is appointed in this position. That is the man. So hopefully it's clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. No. No? She is not obliged. If she would like to spend in the family, that is her choice. She can do that. No, her choice. Nobody told her to get married. If she does not want to get married, that is her choice. Being married in Islam as a contract means you are here. This is similar to you are working a company. It says I gain more or I make more or I can just be my own boss. Yeah, nobody told you to get employed. You can go and establish your own society if you like. So it is getting into a company, you are an employee. You have to have a punch card, come at this time, leave at this time, and so on. In exchange, you are being paid, provided for, and so on. Still, in Islam, marriage is a contract, agreement between two people. That's it, full stop. It's agreement on mutual understanding between two people. They agree to live together on common ground, on good ground, on kindness and goodness, to provide and establish a future generation, and so on. This is the concept in Islam of a family. Exactly that, a contract. And both of them can end that contract. The man can end it directly by divorce, the woman can end it via khula. So the concept, that is just a contract. So if you get into that contract, you have to understand the conditions. They are already there. Is it clear? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. We have time for a few more questions. That was a very lengthy one. MashaAllah. Very interesting. Yes. Thank you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now.
While we have ability to keep our family with us, but we need to support our parents as well as back home.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. So in that case, which one you should give priority to send your wife back home to support your parents, or it is priority to have the family with you?
No, can you have both or not? This is a very good question. Because there is a common mistake nowadays, or a common malpractice by many people. They get married, leave the family home, come here to work and support her. And then why did you get married in the first place? What kind of marriage is this if you don't see her except once in a year or once every 2 years? That is too much for her. If she agrees, alhamdulillah, great. But the concept in Islam, she is entitled to live with you. It is not allowed to stay far from her for a long period of time except with her permission. From the Islamic point of view, this is the case. Now, sometimes there is a difficult situation. For example, the person cannot afford either one of them. And he has to work because he couldn't get any other job. And this is a reality in life sometimes. And he has to make some sacrifices. And he cannot remain without marriage or without children forever. So this is somewhat a good situation. Now, you have a dilemma. Do you bring them with you? If you bring them with you, you might not be able to support the rest of the family well. And if they remain there, this is a difficult time. If you can have both of them, do that. This is the best. If you cannot, then if she agrees, great, alhamdulillah. If she does not agree, either you bring her to live with you or you divorce her, but you cannot leave her like this if she does not agree. She's not allowed to keep her just like that. You didn't marry her and keep her alone. The second point, providing for your parent is also your responsibility. This is a real priority in life. However, if the income that you have with you is enough only for one person or two persons, that is your direct family, your husband, let us say your wife and your child, or your father and mother, it's not enough for more than two, then the priority actually goes to the wife and son, because they are your direct responsibilities. They are your direct responsibilities. You took them from their families, brought them to you, on the condition that you'll provide for them. So either don't marry if you cannot afford it. That is why you said you have to be able to. Or the best situation is to try to reconcile between all partners. However, although we say this, the priority goes to this is not a way to treat your parents at all. So if there is any difficulties or you cannot afford except one, you should pay your attention to your parents first, even if you are going to sacrifice part of your future or your life or your family. But you cannot just ignore them like that. Although it's not your direct responsibilities, financially, when you don't have any means, we are talking about dire need, not extras. Do not misunderstand me with this. Let us say you have with you one single meal or one single piece of anything, and this is enough just to sustain one life only. Then to whom do you give it? We are not talking about, cutting a little and buying a little extra here, and we are talking about the necessities of life and death. That is what we mentioned just to highlight the point. Else, the priority of our parents are extremely, extremely important in Islam and highlighted in Islam. Even if you have, do not even dare to compare anyone to your father and mother. This does not exist on earth. It doesn't. If it reaches to comparing, this is a huge mistake. No one cares for you or loves you or more important in your life than your father and mother. No way. But we are talking about responsibilities here. We're not talking about your piety or your kindness or your good treatment to the parents. The final thing, if you are able to help your parents and they need anything from you within your realm, and there is no direct harm on you from that, so there is benefit for them, no harm on you, it is obligatory to obey them. Obligatory. If there is benefit for them, no harm on you, it is obligatory, regardless of what they are asking for. If there is benefit for them and there is harm on you, it's not obligatory. If there is no benefit on them and no harm on you, recommended to obey them, but not obligatory. If there is no benefit for you and harm on you, no benefit for them and harm on you, it is not obligatory to obey them. So is it clear? Which is which? So you have to weigh each situation by itself. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Very quick, if it is very quick, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Yeah.
If the son at that time is unemployed, the father is responsible?
No. The father is not responsible to pay for the son when he becomes an adult if he is able to gain his own bread. If he is able, he is healthy, he can work, etc. However, if he couldn't, he is trying and searching and could not, then it becomes, and the father is able to, then it's becoming obligatory upon the parents. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.